Before I will do anything, I want to appreciate the Lord Bishop of the Diocese, the person of the Right Reverend Olakunle, for this privilege he has given me to stand before my fathers in God and my fathers and brothers here today. Also, I want to appreciate the diocesan treasurer, who should have been in position to stand here, but because of his fatherly role and mentorship, has given me the opportunity to stand here so that I can grow. May the Lord bless you, sir. Well, without wasting our time, let's open our program to page 2. Page 2 of the program in our hand. I'm going to speak to the paper, but with little, because I'm speaking to the vicars and to the lay people, I will do some adjustment. I will put some scriptural references where needed. I will just mention the reference you read at home. So, introduction. The topic, financial management and assessment payments in a distressed economy, a paper presented at the Diocese of Ekiti-Oke, Clergy and Wardens retreat. Today, 25th March 2023. The introduction. Financial management is crucial for the success of any organization, be it private, government, or non-government. Successful enterprises watch their finances very closely and therefore take the right decision at the right time, ultimately leading to success. Most organizations have a well-structured finance department responsible for looking after the accounts and finances of the organization. You see in Genesis chapter 9 verse 5, you see the account there, you can write it down and read at home, where God himself was asking that he will require. That means he has given some people opportunity to handle one thing or the other, whereby they will give account. So every one of us, you discover that even in our homes, the only thing that do cause quarrel between husband and wife in some cases is the finance. Mismanage, and that is what exactly we see in the picture of Ilobo that we have just concluded. If you go to the next paragraph, in the absence of proper backup plans and funds, NGOs like churches as we are unable to cope with funding crisis. Churches should realize that managing their finances is of critical importance, and they should incorporate necessary measures towards 1. Risk management, 2. Resource mobilization, and 3. Budgeting. If you do looking into these 3 areas, we'll be able to manage our finance very well. Finance managers, well, they are the staff or officers given the opportunity to handle the finance of a particular organization or church. Like we have the People's Wardens, they are regarded as the finance officer, or whereby a church that has the capacity to employ an accountant. What is financial management? It is the process of planning, organizing, controlling, and monitoring financial resources with a view to achieve goals and objectives of the church, as in our case. And this can be done in 4 ways. Raising of funds, utilization of funds, accounting processes of the funds coming in, and every other thing that is related to finance thereto. Make sure they manage that. Proper management of the church finance provides quality fuel and regular service to ensure efficient functioning. If finances are not yet properly dealt with, a church will face barriers that may have severe repercussion on its growth and development. There are several options that one can use in managing their finances. 1. Hire a full-time employee, hiring of a part-time professional or a third party who manages all finance-related activities for the church. A finance manager, such as clerk, cashier, or accountant, as in our case in the diocese, which I am, is designated for handling finance and managing its resources within a church. Depending on the church profile, the finance department can have several designations to cater for various needs of the church. It depends on your capacity. Most of our churches in Ekiti-Oke can't go into that. Importance of finance management. As a vicar or church warden, you might be thinking that your primary task is to work towards social service, human welfare, and not financial management. But unless your finances and funds are sorted, you cannot achieve your goal. And that is where the wardens are to cooperate with their vicars and make sure that things are done in the way of God and in a way that will portray good integrity. Here are some points indicating the importance of finance management. 1. Being accountable to members. This is where problems do crop up. When a vicar cannot defend what he has spent before the members, it will bring problems. Or when the wardens cannot properly stand and say this is what we have done and is seen to the people as clean and fair, then there will be problem. So if you look at Matthew chapter 12 verse 36, you see the account of the Bible there. 2 Kings chapter 22 verse 7. Then Romans 14:12. When you get home, you can read that. Being as a church, you need to be accountable to the members and individuals who supported your cause. With proper system in place, you can keep track of your expenditure and submit timely reports to them. A church that is involving in timely report, you discover that there will be less violence between the church members. Because at PCC levels, you have given them the report of the activities you have taken on their behalf. And while you do that, if they have any question, they would have thrown it forward. And while you are presenting your account at the end of the year, there will be no problem. It will be easy for easy passage and approval. 2. Securing future. Churches should also opt for sustainable use of funds. This simply means that churches should spend in their present venture, keeping in mind the future. Whatever comes in today, have a focus for tomorrow. Don't spend all. The cashless situation of the country now tells every family that. Not everything that comes to you, you spend today. No matter how little, try to save. Try to keep something for tomorrow, because you never can tell what will crop up, either from the economic side or any other means. God forbid bad thing. Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that, and 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10. Number 3, eliminating fraud and theft. I think that's the area our brother was trying to cover there, but he has not approached it in the normal way. Malpractices and illegal deeds such as overuse of resources, fraud and theft should be avoided at all costs among churches, most especially the vicars and the wardens. Please, make sure there is no collusion that will tarnish image or that will bring adverse growth to your church, God being our helper. Luke 16:1 and Luke 16:2, you can consider that. Making productive decisions. Good decision making good decision-making skills enable right amount of funds to be invested at the right time. Your level of spending helps you to decide on what to do in the church. As wardens, it is your duty to look at the trend of how funds are coming into the church and advise the vicar rightly. Underline that word, rightly. Advise him, sir, this is the trend. This I think we can do to do this, so that this will be and we'll be able to achieve our goals at the end of the year. Philippians chapter 4 verse 17 gives account of that. Achieving objectives. Each decision that is undertaken by the authority, in our case now, maybe the vicar and the PCC, after decision has been making at the meeting, then how do you achieve it? That is what we are taking. It's driven towards successful achievement of its set goals and objectives. Without a well-organized finance, it will be difficult for church and its employees to reach its aim and fulfill its goals. When a well-structured finance is not in place, and that is why we are bringing out our treasurers, our pastors' warding together with our vicars. That please, we want you to look into your finance sections in the church. Most of us, the account we present is not presentable. The final account you submitted to us is not that presentable. It's not that your figures we have seen fraud in your figures, but the standard of presentation is not, it doesn't worth it. So please, we need to work on that. Or probably if you need explanation, sample of the diocesan account is there for us. We can use that as template to present accounts. I can't imagine a church giving me all the months. That means you are telling me to go and start calculating January. Boluwaga, you put it there. February, Boluwaga. Am I the one to go and start collating that for you? You have a goal. If you have a goal, then you should have done the right thing. 2 Kings chapter 12 verse 15 tells us that. Enhancing credibility. That is the aspect that our vicars, like Baba Akande said, we should be very careful. Credibility is very, very important. With excellent finance management, churches enhance their image, value, and become more credible rather, and earn good reputation within their community. If today churches are fighting because of money, let's note that all we are doing in our church, within our community, those outside are hearing, and that will tell us what they will say about us, how they will regard us. So, they may not come to church, but they are watching you, and that is why you are the light. You are to reflect to them. So 2 Kings chapter 12 verse 15, Matthew 18:23, 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 2. The next one, the item of point 3.0 up to point 4, you can read that because of our time. I go to what is financial distress. Financial distress is a term commonly used in corporate finance that describes any situation where an individual's or organization's financial condition leaves them struggling to pay their bills. As in the case of the church, assessment is a bill. We are struggling on how to pay it and to sort other things. We have the utility bill, the allowances of your workers. When you are struggling to pay that, then you are in a distressed situation already. But I pray God will give us grace to overcome all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Luke 16:5 has something to say about that. When a condition of financial distress occurs, it must be addressed immediately. Don't push it till tomorrow. Don't wait until one Messiah will come and do it. Bring it out. Make it open so that those who are to help us will quickly come to our aid at the right time. And so that if we do it immediately, it will help us not to worsen the situation. 2 Corinthians chapter 8:20. Common remedies for financial distress. Proverbs 27 verse 23. One, I have a point here, cutting costs. We must cut our costs. Our finance in the church must go in the same trend with what is happening in the nation. Cashless policy. We all know what we are facing now in our churches. We must cut our costs. Those things we have been doing. If there are services you can afford not to put on there now, please do. I think for almost a year now, they hardly put on generator during office hours in the office. Because of the situation, we are trying to cut our costs too. Most of the works we need to do the urgent, we can just give 30 minutes. Since last year March to date, I don't think we have put on generator for a month. During office hours, you come back in the night and do everything together. That's part of the sacrifices we staffs have to make sure that we cut our costs. Improving revenue or cash flow, then you restructure the existing debts. Financial distress in churches. It is easy for a church to encounter a period of financial distress. Even a well-managed church can even experience that. Some of which are completely beyond any church's control. Most of the things that we face as a church comes as a result of probably the policy of the government, the economic situation downturn, and the rest like that. We should look at that. Then you see a sudden, like in most of our areas now, on Sunday services, if a family lost their relative, if they have the larger percentage of the church, you might not see them in the church that Sunday. That do happen. And even in case of market, like Otu and Ifaki, market days do affect. So, and Lupeju, so that we must take cognizance of and make sure that we look at it when we are doing our planning or fixing our projects. Unexpected downturn, like I've mentioned, then the cashless policy of the government, the COVID-19 2020, you see, that we are yet to come out of it fully till today. A church might have taken out large loan with an adjustable interest rate. In that situation, a sharp increase in interest rate can significantly raise the church cost to repay its loan, thereby causing financial problems for the organization. If you look at the taxes, the rate in banks now, it is problem. Whereby you have projected that in the next 2 months, the loan we obtain will be able to pay back, and the cashless policy comes in from December to date. The projection for that period, do you think it will be easy to meet up? Capital no. So that we must look into. And treasurers, please, I will still employ us. Let's follow trend and advise our fathers on what to do. Of course, many times a church suffers financial distress as a result of failures by pastors and leaders. By engaging on unachievable projects or misplaced priority. Well, churches, I don't think there's the word embezzlement, we just don't have what to use, to my best understanding. It's mismanagement. is mismanagement. That is the right language for it. In attempts to complete such projects, church may begin to struggle to extend or borrow to struggle to the extent of borrowing from members of finance houses. Then poor budgeting. Proverbs 21:5, 1 Corinthians 16:2. Inability to collect accounts receivable in a timely manner, which can cause severe cash flow problems, and poor accounting practices are other potential causes of financial distress. Many of us don't have budget. We just fall into what we see, which is not good enough. We need to correct that. The most common remedies that churches can apply to ease their financial distress include cutting costs, improving cash flow or revenues, and debt restructuring aimed at reducing the size of debt payment. Tips on how to pay assessment appropriately. 1. Prioritization of the year's activity. 2. Cutting down avoidable costs. 3. Focusing on assessment as very crucial. 4. Not engaging on white elephant projects. 5. Reaching out to members outside the community for support. Engaging on activities that can bring in money. Encouraging members both at home and outside through regular appreciation. Sincerity in the utilization of collections. Teamwork among vicars and the wardens and other workers of the church. Avoiding being self-centered, either as vicar or as wardens. We should not be self-centered. Money is not easy to go by, not only in a distressed economy, but always. It is expected that churches and their vicars and wardens should adhere strictly to the Anglican principle of payment of assessment before any project. Thereby, it will be easy to focus on achievable projects with the limit of available resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. We'll take one or two questions. Well, the treasurer is there. The treasurer is there.
Thank you. Well done.
The Chief Emir Oladipo, FSF, please come and wrap it up the evaluation.
I want to thank the Bishop for giving us this opportunity and for allowing this gentleman to give this lecture. He has given this lecture to the vicar once. So when I was told that I was to take it, I said no. When he presented it, did he present it very well? He said yes. So if he has done that, let him do it. It will amount to us telling him that he has not done it well. That's why I have to deliver it between the two groups. So, and I thank God, with the ovation he has received, it means that he has done it well. Well done. There's no area I'm going to touch. In fact, yes, I was the one who asked him to skip the number 3 item because it is more technical and doesn't really, it may not be part of what we need here. So I think he has done that very well. Now, I'm not going to any other area other than the last point. That is the point 5.0. That's the last page 5. Some of the things he has mentioned here as tips are things we are battling with in our church. Our churches. Let me put that. We have government policy that can tamper with our program on one side. On the other side, we ourselves are tampering with our own personal programs, and we are causing problems with the system itself. If you don't prioritize what you want to do, and you don't allow things to go smoothly, you don't even know what you are going to do, you are just doing it the way it comes. There's no way one time will be one time when you be full stop and there's no move way forward. Our system in the Anglican is so good, and the bishop has always emphasized this. Payment of assessment before project. If we follow it strictly, definitely there will be very easy and smooth project execution. I want to say there's no, within the 3 dioceses in Ekiti-Oke is the diocese that pays less compared with our level of the same church in all other places. If you go to Ekiti West and you look at the level of a particular church compared with A from B, the assessment we are paying here is much more, it's much more than what we are paying here. Because don't even talk of Ekiti. And our bishop has been trying to make sure that he doesn't really put things as hard as we expect of the bishop to say, okay, if you don't do this, you don't talk. The issue we are talking just some minutes ago concerning Ilobo should not actually, that gentleman only presented his case in the wrong way. He's a gentleman, he's a young man who is just coming and embarrassed that how can our church, being the only church that is doing as much as 30 million, is part of lack of priority and mismanagement of funds. But as at the time that issue was coming, I was a part of the team that went there. Nobody mentioned it. In fact, it got to a point that we nearly apologized to the church. Because it's all that Enimola did has been okay. So I've told him he should go back home. Let him ask from his from the leaders there. How is it that we got to this level that we are? They will tell him stories. It is then, as young men, they can tell them, look, you have caused a problem for us. We want to find out how to solve this. But coming here to come and present it, we have persecuted him. Sorry, it's not bent, it's not something. So that fellow there, the man that wore that yellow something, that said, let us inquire of him. There must be something before he said that. Yes, what he said was not right for this gathering, but it's very, very important. And for your information, the same man, I was the one who told the bishop, called me on Thursday, asking me to see how I will manage his gratuity, transfer it from Ekiti-Oke to Ekiti-Diocese, Ekiti-Kwara. And I told him I'm not in the power to do that. Because I know that it is only the bishop here that will direct that, okay, the bishop over there has taken over this person, and he said he will take up the affairs of this family. Please do this. Then I will do it. So that is one. Two, even within our own self, our own system, payment. In the recent time we have this cashless problem. That does not stop us from meeting up with our obligations in most cases, because this diocese has always been going against bringing cash to the office. We have always been saying, pay your money to the bank, because we want to ensure that all money paid to this diocese is accounted for. It's not a matter of we bring cash and we are talking, I brought 20,000, it's now 15. No. Bring your teller or the receipt of what you used to pay. That's the fact that we are in cashless situation. Cannot, for any reason, the bank, most of us, to pay assessment. I want even if you go to, we thank some of these people. Last year we got the best, in the last 10 years, I think we got the best period last year. And it's translated to the best period to our vicars. Because we did not owe any vicar everything. But there are some that got 9 months salary in a day. And the purpose of doing it is because you equally paid and were able to utilize the money properly at the time it's paid. So there's no point owing you any money. Now, if you have this sheet in your paper, please turn to this the back of the sheet. That's covenant sheet. The instrument of this diocese is with the bishop at a particular time, but around 2010 or something. He brought an expert to this diocese who spoke to us on the need for this covenant sheet and the usage. We all admire it, and we thought it's going on well. If you look at this, we are already 3 months. We have only one Sunday left. If you look at the last column, 2023, you will see how many churches are still yet to raise just one trouble. And that is part of it. Then the question is, are we really, are we sincere in the remittance of what we have collected? It is a mandate that every service of this house, every service, whether it is Sunday service, whether it is vocational service, we must collect covenant, and we do collect. Then when we collect, we are to keep the money. This does not leave any church, whether you are big or you are small. We are not all sincere. And it will be wrong for me to leave my office to go about asking for the books. I want to see how much I collected. That is a way ridicule to our makers. And let us declare some of us who are treasurers and pastors, wardens, the vicars are the accounting officer of the church. There is no doubt about it. That's the constitution of Church of Nigeria. The only thing is, it cannot single-handedly approve, say, you have people, unless you talk to him, he talks to you, we need this, or you talk to him, we need this, so okay, if this is what we need, what do we do? You talk together, you agree on the point, then you recommend to him the approach. You go and pay with his signature on the check, or whatever instrument you want to use to pay. So for anybody to think that the vicar can take it away from any expenses, that's go out, off our mind. So, but please, let us do things the way it should be done. This is what will help us. We are talking of Vayolumi. I was at Vayolumi. I was the one reporting to our people at our group. And I went to Vayolumi. In fact, somebody with photographs and there, the house was built, a mud house. And later, when the gentleman who is at when he was going there maybe once or twice every month, and by now he has pasted the church. Though small, but it's okay for the congregation that is worshiping in that church. That is part of what you can encourage, and that is part of the money he used for that came out of the covenant seat. But unlike we are saying when we went to that room and I talked to show that it is not enough, we still need to do more. That is why we say the March covenant seat should be collected and be given to him. These are the areas, but if we cannot help ourselves, I don't see where. So the lecture of this man has gone deep in so many areas, so many issues that has always been affecting our diocese. We need to have the focus. We need to obey instructions. There's no church that doesn't need any money or projects. There's no one. But when you see some trying to meet up, and even some churches, by now we have churches that have paid almost with millions of naira made this year and completed their assessments. Why some are just chiefly in as if it doesn't concern, we want to meet up because we must take salary. It doesn't matter. Pay what you are supposed to pay. If you generate money, use it for a project that can bring money in future. Like I said, not on what relevant projects, and that is what is killing most of the churches. So what you can do today, and they say they transfer you tomorrow. If you do it today, and the bishop says, okay, you have done well, go and do somewhere else. There's something you can do. But the one that the bishop can say you have done well, and the office can say you have done well, ask to stand up for ovation is when you meet up to assessment, ask and went to, and you are free, very free. So, I want to appeal to us. We agree that there are policies of government that do affect us, like the one we have. There are policies that there's nothing you can do, it will affect you. But when that happens, you quickly adjust. If it happens like this, what is the next thing? I was talking to somebody, he said, how do I pay covenants when we are discussing that? Okay, what you do is collect your covenants, confirm it with your church. How much is so much? Maybe like a quotation of about 120 naira was the reference point. I said that 120 naira, I cannot ask you to go from Adu, from whatever you are where you are in Mama, to go and pay 120 naira. But in this hard time of cash something, if since the church has agreed that this is how much it is, if you are a vicar of that church and you need money for that covenant, spend the money and transfer that, but in the name of your church, covenant seat, St. John's, whatever, St. Andrews, whatever. Immediately it gets to the diocese, we pick it up from the statement of account. It's better that way than you keep it in your account and spend it all with your money. At the end of the day, nothing comes out of it. So please, once any policy comes out and it's going to affect, instead of the negative effect, let us quickly adjust to what can please both the church and the diocese so that we don't have any problem. Then over the last and our people outside do make some people or some of our churches to utilize the little money they have. You have not paid your assessment, you are working on a project, and you are relying on somebody to pay, better that fellow has not even gotten enough money to eat. It's happening. Whatever is within you, utilize it very well. Prioritize what you are supposed to prioritize so that at the end of the day, it will be alright, it's okay for all of us. Then there was the teamwork between the vicar and the wardens, even in the PCC. PCC is a very important body in any church. Any church that is not holding PCC regularly is go and adjust because there may be a day of reckoning. Because when it comes to that day, that vicar is either on his own or challenge that wardens. You say yes, you are intentionally asking the vicar not to vote because you have interest. So it's not good. Let us adjust to have such situation. Fund management is good, provided we know what we want to do about it. So I thank all of you for listening to this gentleman. You have treated that paper very, very well. In the context of what we want to use it for, and that's church, not in other areas. So that is where we needed what he said, and that we are going to stand together.
You are still on the hot seat, both of you. Will be here today. Well, let's have a take home. We've had it. This is the Anglican Church. Episcopally led, synodically governed. In other words, in a diocese, we have bishop leading, we have clergymen working with the bishop. The clergymen spread to lead in every church, and that's why it is said that every church in the diocese belongs to who? To the bishop. And that's why, which seat? Let me ask from the lady. In these two seats, which one is the seat of the vicar of the church? Yeah. Huh? Huh? Thank you. Any other person who wants to conduct any service, if there be another behind, the person can sit. This one, anyone can. You, the leader, laity, another clergyman, if you are assigned leadership of service, you take this what? This side. Then, the ordained man, the vicar, has the PCC to work. Some say parochial, church council. That word parochial, we try to what? Throw it out. We are not what? Parochial. If you look at the meaning of what? Parochial. We are not narrow-minded. So you have parish what? Church council. This parish church council, they are people who belong to that parish, who are committed to sustaining that parish, who show and prove to be true Anglicans. They are baptized, they are communicants, and they are subscribing members. Many they are. But in the parish, we have between 6 and what? 10 to be annually elected. They say, you are the people who will assist the what? The vicar to be his advisor, to be his eyes in managing this parish. Then, there are two other people, the people's warden and the pastor's warden. The vicar there will choose one person and say, you will be the eye of the bishop to work with me. The people will choose another person and say, you will be the eye of the bishop to work with the vicar, so that together we will what? Run this parish. That's why the bishop carries his what? His staff. Put on his academic gown. And who are the people who wear the same? The wardens. So that's how the parish is run. The powerful people, the PCC, and these three are Ekiti-Oke, the vicar, the people's warden, and the pastors. These three, very powerful. They are the authority. It's not one Papa Ebe, one Papa Ijo, one year. No. In our setting, it is these three. Then the management, the one who is accountable to God in heaven and on earth, and to the people, the bishop in the diocese, the vicar in the what? Whatever is brought in, once you collect from this level and you climb up to this point, you've gone to higher level, and it goes to that point, and it is dedicated. Whose money? God's. Whose money? God's. It's the money of God. To be what? Managed. How is it managed? The vicar, the wardens, the PCC. No vicar has the right or mandate, constitutionally, biblically, morally, anything, except it becomes jali. To say all the money in any service, bring, I pocket. It is not done in the Anglican Church. Those to assist, they are the wardens. They will make sure all monies that do come are well counted, and we have the preacher's book. They will what? Record in the preacher's book. Under the wardens are disciples or ushers to assist. In every parish, there should be small record book. Those that attended, that's the attendance, the offering and whatever money that you come in, they will what? They will record. Pass on to the wardens. The wardens will ascertain. At the close of it all, the wardens must submit to the vicar. This, not the money. The what? The records. And the vicar will direct. And there is a policy. All monies must go to the bank. Not in the hope of the member that it's not done. How do we spend it? No pastor will just wake up and go, warning, no. Warning, you remember at our last meeting, VCC, this were approved to be what? To be done. Please release the money for the work. It is put in writing. The wardens will now prepare the PV, payment what? Voucher. And every payment voucher must be approved by the vicar. Once that is done, the money is released. But during the week, there may be need to spend. The vicar will call the wardens. Please, so this happened. We need so amount to what? To respond. Please release. That becomes authority to the wardens. If the two wardens, because the vicar more very me. So to go, yes, okay, it is what? Release. The vicar again we have to what? Approve. Or during the week, the wardens walk in and discover what do we do? Vicar, have you seen that wall? Do you see the need to repair that place? Say yes, I've seen it. What do you think it will cost? The wardens will now put into the vicar. We need so much to put that place right. The vicar will what? Approve. The wardens will prepare the voucher. And the money is what? Approved. All this will be packaged during the BCC meeting. The wardens will what? Report. But before the report is presented to the BCC, the wardens must have shown the what? The vicar. This is our report this month. Showing income, showing expenditure, showing the balances. Then you present to the what? To the PCC. Oh, the ones we approved last meeting, what have we done? Oh, we are able to do ABC. We couldn't spend all, or a little was over what you want, you approved. And other things that came in, this. So what next? Okay, we still need ABC. Any observation? Yes, sir. Why did the expenditure on fence done? It happened during the week. Are we to wait till another PCC meeting? There are people like that among you. Abi kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀? But another among you will say, Mr. James, look at it, there is no problem in it. Okay. Motion. I move motion for the finance to be what? Accepted. Any seconder? Yes, Mrs. Jeje Lariba. Second. Any counter motion? No. Simple. And the church continues. If Church of Nigeria will govern it well, there is no need for people's warding, pastors' warding, and vicar to fight. There is no need for vicar and PCC to start meeting by 6, 12 o'clock they are still there, yet no decision. It shouldn't be. It's not our tradition. The problem the young man brought, where is Ilogo again? I've told you, where is the people's body of Ilogo? Who is the current people's body? Who is he? The one who is AYF leader now? If you see, I know he will not say what he is saying. The same Awobemi? Allah Adaliji. And what was the problem then? Up to date. Ilogo, fún mi ní minutes monthly meeting. Because in the Anglican Church, every month, once in a month, there must be statutory what? Meeting in every parish. There may be as many emergencies you want, but statutory meeting is what? Once in a month. Up to date. Ilogo will produce what? Minutes. Not meeting. Constitutionally. And if there be churches doing that, ẹjọ́ ó ti yé wa àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ ṣe àtúnṣe. Ìpàdé tá ń ṣe nílé bàbá ẹgbẹ́, ìyá ẹgbẹ́ láti sọ pé òun ni ìpàdé ìjọ, it is not. It is sinful in Anglican Church. I hope that is clear. So any question now before we dismiss our noble team? Any question? That row, any question? This row, any question? Is Yewa? Yes, this row, any question? No question. Are you last row or first row?